Well, guys, I didn't quite get to 2025 without buying a new camera. But you know what? A deal came up. I couldn't ignore it. Um, it's a camera that I've wanted for quite a while. I was able to get a brand new one for 1,283 Australian dollars. And drumroll, it was the Panasonic. And the sun always comes out when I come to this place. Doesn't matter what the forecast is, it's meant to get rainier and cloudier anyway. The Panasonic GH52. What? Why on earth did he get a 3 generation old Panasonic GH? That makes no sense. You know what? It's the camera that I wanted. I know that the argument will be you should have just paid another, $400 and you could have got a GH6 with all of its bells and whistles. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing about the GH5 versus the GH6. At least the GH5 Mark II. The Mark II has a very interesting feature called live view composite. GH6 does not have that unless it's going to get it in a firmware upgrade later. And I want the live view composite, and I want the focus ring control, which did not make it to the GH51, which I already own. So I'm getting two really significant features that I've coveted. I also don't want the big form factor of the GH6. I don't need the fan. I don't need 4K 120. I would rather have live view composite than 4K 120. I'm not doing a lot of bird videography at the moment. That's the only time I would ever use 4K 120. And even then, only for small birds. Or if I wanted, for some reason, extra slow footage. The GH52, I have been keeping an eye on eBay prices, and they generally sell, I'd say on average, about 1,050 second hand. Now, worst case, cheapest case, they're selling for 900. I've seen a few go for 1,300. So to get one that has the warranty, brand new, zero shutter count, new battery, for 1,283 with free postage, I thought was just an amazing deal. I am aware that that camera is probably going to do nothing but come down in price, although I don't know, because it may just be the best Micro Four Thirds camera ever made, if you value the size being of moderate proportions. Man, the sun, it did this to me 2 days ago here. I made a video about it. It just, look, cloud all around, but sunny overhead. When you're allergic to sunlight, you notice these things. Whew. So if the camera kind of goes into cult status, because it does have that live view composite on the smaller form factor, and a lot of us use manual focus anyway, so we don't care about the bad autofocus. You still got all your 4K uncropped and unlimited recording times. Camera never overheats. And I'm sorry, but 20 megapixels is enough. It's enough for me anyway. So yeah, I think it's almost the perfect camera. I do love the colors on the GH6. I do love the autofocus on the GH6, but that's, GH6 might also become like a cult. It's already vintage. GH6 is already vintage. Didn't take long. But will it become a cult vintage? You know what? I think it probably will. And some cult cameras like the GM5 and GM1, they end up holding their value. I think they've even gone up in value, haven't they? So there are other cameras that have done that as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what the GH5 II does. I guess there are plenty of them out there because there was such a long wait to the GH6, right? So GH5 II was, I know it came out just after I bought the GH5 1, and I was actually very philosophical about it. I honestly didn't really care, but so I bought that in like June or July 2020. So I'm going to say it was like Q3 2020 that the GH5 II came out. And I think the GH6 was 2022. So I guess it's only 2 years. So it was in production for 2 years as the flagship GH. I don't know, I guess, are they still making the GH5 II? The fact you can still buy it new is kind of interesting. I remember a few months back they said they're taking the GH5S out of production. I was like, oh, I didn't even know it was in production. So I think they might still be making it. Most camera shops were asking $2,000 for the GH5 II. That's before any discounts. And then you'd see it, pretty regularly discounted to like $15.99. So there's some, it was funny, it was on Amazon, if you're wondering, Black Friday deal, fucking sick of that those words. I think we all are. But I keep documenting this flower spike. It's gone black now. The petals come off the flowers. So it's called a grass tree, that plant. So yeah, it was on Amazon, just to give you the fucking mechanics of it. It was 36% off. And yeah, I just saw like, what, 1,200 something for a brand new GH5 II. And I thought about it for an hour. I hit the buy button. There was 4 available. Went for a walk, came back. This was yesterday. Came back and I wanted to see if other people had bought them. And it said 3 available, but they jacked the price back up to like 25% off or something. So you can still buy one for 1,500 and something, 1,560 or something like that. So either they only had that offer on for a few hours on purpose, or they thought, hold on, this is a little bit too cheap. Anyway, guys, that's the story. Look, I kind of need, it's a good financial year for me to get a bit of a tax break, or claim something off my tax. So this will actually be quite interesting for someone who like uranium glass photography, because when I have the UV light, it's only a little handheld flashlight, I can't light up the whole fucking glass at once. So what I'm thinking is I can use live view composite. I could perhaps just use a really slow shutter speed, do the same thing, but live view composite to get all of the glass, whatever it is, vase or something, illuminated and fluorescing at once. The focus ring control, like when I've kind of like ended up using the TG6 mostly for eBay, but sometimes when it's available, the one thing about TG6 is some of the images are just not great quality. It's a 1/2.3 sensor. This fucking sunlight. Fuck. It's like I'm gonna upload the video I made yesterday or 2 days ago out here. It can be raining when I leave, and fucking like full blown overcast. I come out here, get out of the car, waits for me to arrive, and then the clouds just part. And look at the shadow. Look how fucking sunny it is. Now I feel like shit. Fuck. Ruined my fucking walk. Oh my god. This is unbearable. I didn't take any medication. God damn it. I actually just feel like sitting down, but there's nowhere to sit down. There ain't no park benches in these old fire trails. Totally lost where I was going with that discussion, but yeah, guys. It has a so the eBay. So I would use the GH51 when I needed better quality, but because of the autofocus, like if you use manual focus, it's that fucking like fly-by-wire shit. And sometimes autofocus is fine for like photography, but when you just go manual focus, it's a fucking... Because I have to use the kit lens. It's like the perfect focal length, right? But manual focus with the fly-by-wire, with the non-linear focus ring, it's horrible. I used to think the lens was broken until I learned it was meant to be like that. Sun's gone back to its lair. Fuck. So that'll be an improvement. I also want to do some lightning photography with the what do they call it? The live view composite. And I might even be able to sell some of that locally if I can get a good shot of lightning over the water near where I live. People used to sell photos and paintings of local places at the market. Always loved lightning photography, and I've always struggled with it. You know, it's very, very hard. And I just read a couple of little forum comments and articles about live view composite just to make sure it did work for lightning photography. Robin Wong has a blog entry on it, and yeah, they weren't using the Panasonic GH52, but I'm sure it's the same kind of deal. I think you can run it up to like 3 hours exposure time. Not that I'd ever go that far, but for lightning photography I have done, you have to like have the camera on and off all the time. And so if you take a 20-second exposure, you then have to wait 20 seconds for the noise reduction. And also because you're not getting lightning constantly normally, at least where I live, you have to kind of guess when it's going to strike. And a lot of the times it's just uncanny. There'll be 30 lightning bolts and I'll only capture one of them because I just happen to have the camera off when the lightning's on. You know, it's crazy. So yeah, guys, the GH52, I'll get the GST back as a GST credit. And then I'll claim the rest as an expense. So that'll be a great camera to have. It's got a live streaming function. I don't think I'll ever use that, but it's there if I need it. Not sure how even that really would work. So yeah, it's a bit of an oddball sort of classic camera that I think is a bit underappreciated with all the hype for GH6 and the GH7. No one's really made a video about how good the GH52 is. I mean, maybe I'll regret buying it. Maybe the live view composite will suck. So yeah, anyway, getting a little puffed out here. Anyway, that's the news. GH5 II, Mark II, and who knows, I can just have fun with it, try it out, do some eBay work with it, see how it goes, do some lightning shots. If it's no good, I'll probably only lose a couple of $100. And if I do sell it, I can say, look, this is a 2024 model. You know, like it's not one that's been banging around since 2020, right? So I'll look after it. Well, I sell the GH5 I should sell it to help pay for this one, but then again, I'm not going to get a lot for it. I might get, after, you know, I put it on eBay, after fees, I might only get 650, you know, so is it really worth it to, you know, give up a really good camera for $650? I think I'd maybe, I don't know, should I sell the GH5S? I've got the Troika. I've got, well, not yet. When I get it in, I'll do a Troika video. The GH5 Troika. You gotta collect them all, guys. I dare say, on my journey as camera owner, I might end up owning all of them from the GH5 onwards. So I do want to try a GH6. GH6, I'd say, would be more likely one I'd try, have fun, and get rid of. We'll see what they're already so cheap. It does, even to me, it's like, why did I get a GH6? There weren't any Black Friday deals on them, but you do see them for $1,600 pretty regularly, or just over. By the way, the GH7 came down to $2,850, and it was only there for a few hours, but so that's the cheapest it's ever been in Australian dollars. Remember, it was over 4,000 when it came out, so it's a pretty good deal on a GH7, but it's just a bit much money for me. GH7 does have the live view composite. They put it back, so, but yeah, it's a lot of money for one camera. I gotta say, even like what was it, $1,280? That's still a lot of money, you know. It's $1,000. I guess the other thing is I had a birthday earlier in the year and I didn't buy myself anything, so I feel like that's between that and, you know, wanting that specific camera, and it's a good financial year to be buying items that I can use to make money. So it all kind of made sense. I'm very actually happy with it. No buyer's remorse here. And yeah, I better turn this off and get my breath back. I'll see you later, I guess.